and welcome to Nug Life Podcast. I am your host, Dan Wetstein, on the Answers 42 Media Network with my newest co-host, Amado Santiago Salazar. This man is a basketball junkie. He is going to be our resident little expert here and bouncing ideas off him. We got a lot to talk about. Nuggets, all the time, every Saturday right here, 5 o'clock. Make sure you join us. So, Amado, tell the people about you. Tell them who you are, where you came from, how we met, all those good things.
Oh, man. CMS alum. That's where I met you. Shout out to the Colorado Media School for drawing up the blueprint.
Boom.
Yes, sir. A Denver native, lover of all Denver sports, and just trying to give back. And, as I'm a fan as much as you are, and trying to bring you what I see from the fans' perspective.
All right. Yes, that is exactly what we want to bring. So let's go ahead and jump on into this. There was huge news that came out of Ball Arena last week. The Minnesota Timberwolves were able to steal Tim Connelly away from the Denver Nuggets in the front office, one of the best executives in the league, not just being biased. This is something that comes from everywhere across the league. Tim Connelly is absolutely respected in every way. I think this is going to be a huge hole to fill. What about you?
He did his job. He turned the Nuggets into a contender. Without the injuries that they've had to suffer the last couple of years, he built a championship contending team. If Jamal Murray's healthy, Michael Porter Jr. is healthy, the Nuggets are probably still in the playoffs right now. They might even be making a finals appearance. Tim Connelly did his thing. But like everyone else, you go chase a better job, and that's what he did in Minnesota. Got paid 5 years, $40 million. I don't understand the freak out what everyone is going at right now. Like, oh my God, how could you let Tim Connelly go? It was not Nikola Jokic going to Minnesota. It was not MPJ going to Minnesota. It was not Jamal going to Minnesota. It was Tim Connelly, who, yes, he's been instrumental in what the Nuggets are now. But come on now. He left the Nuggets in good position of what they are, and kudos to him. Much love to him. Now, am I glad that he had to go to Minnesota out of all the teams? No, I'm not, because I don't know if division rivals are as big in the NBA as the NFL, but the Minnesota Timberwolves happen to be in our division, and I can't stand them. So I wish it could have been a different team. But, shout out to Tim Connelly. He's a great GM. That's why the Timberwolves pursued him so much. Yes. They offered him an ownership deal, I believe, where he is going to get
partial owner.
And a couple years ago, the Washington Wizards. The reason why the Wizards didn't get Tim Connelly is because they didn't pursue him. The Timberwolves pursued him in a way that the Nuggets just couldn't pursue him back.
No.
And you know what? Just all I can say is, good luck to Tim Connelly, but Timberwolves still suck.
It's everything you just said. It is the fact that the Minnesota Timberwolves gave him an offer he could not refuse. They straight godfathered him.
Yeah.
That's all it was. The Nuggets tried. Like, my thing, I understand the freak out. I understand fans being worried about whether or not they'll be able to fill this hole. But again, the thing that gets on my nerves is people talking about the Nuggets like they're unwilling to pay anybody.
Mm-hmm.
They just gave a supermax deal to Nikola. They gave a max deal to Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. They are willing to pay. It was just they were not willing to give Connelly a piece of the ownership. That was the piece. That was the coup de grace. That was the one. That was the piece that Connelly's just like, I can't, because that is ultimate job security. How are they going to fire an owner? Honestly, how do you fire your boss?
Yeah,
that's what it's at. So all the kudos to Minnesota for going the extra mile, because honestly, me as an owner, I'm not taking that step. I have no blame to give to the Cronkies for not giving an executive ownership of the team. There's supposed to be a separation there for a reason. So whether or not Connelly will do the same that he did here is up for debate. I think he was given a lot of leeway and gratitude here in Denver. Will he get that same leeway when it comes to Minnesota? You would assume so, because he is part owner. But at the same time, it's a new ownership group, a new place. The grass isn't always greener. So whether or not he's going to be great, I don't know. but here in Denver, we absolutely loved him. He was absolutely great here. So I have nothing to say that he won't be, but we're going to have to wait and see what he's able to do in Minnesota with that new title. But speaking of the hole and what needs to be filled, do you believe a Calvin Booth internally can fill that, or do they need to go outside the organization?
I don't think we've had enough time with Calvin Booth to understand. So I think we just got to see how this season rides out. Calvin Booth, he couldn't really work with a whole lot. You have your 2-star players out in MPJ and Jamal Murray. That's what it always will go back to this last couple of years is the injuries. But we got to see what Calvin Booth can do because we were shorthanded. Aaron Gordon, which is a lot of the stuff or a lot of players on the roster are mainly Tim Connelly guys. So we haven't really seen the sample size of Calvin Booth or what he can do. But he was part of the team, part of management. So there must be some kind of faith in him. We just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I do actually like the thought of Calvin Booth because it gives continuity.
Yeah,
he's been here with Connelly the whole time. He's part of the group that pounded the table for Nikola. He's part of the group that pounded the table for Michael Porter Jr. So he's obviously got an eye for talent and one that was trusted by the guy everybody's freaking out that left in Tim Connelly. He had Tim Connelly's ear. He had his trust and everything. So honestly, you could do a whole lot worse than Calvin Booth. And Nika, appreciate you showing up. How you doing?
I did not realize this. Booth has been with the Nuggets since 2017. So
yes.
He has been there for a good sample size. I thought it was only for like a year or two.
Nope.
He's been there for a good minute. So he knows the direction where this team needs to go. I don't feel like we're throwing away any kind of plans that Tim Connelly left.
Right.
And I'm now since he's been here since 2017, I do believe he's going to lead us into what Tim Connelly might have led us into. Now, of course, we need MPJ back. We need Jamal back.
Right.
And we're going to see how far this team can do actually at full health. And I'm excited to see what step they do make in that right direction.
Yes, most definitely. I think that keeping it internal, like a lot of times, like what happened in Coors Field when they let Bill Schmidt, that was a terrible thing to do with that type of an organization that is absolutely inept. You want to go outside of the organization because there's something that needs to be fixed. In this case, with this organization, there's not really anything that needs to be fixed. There's just a couple of tweaks that need to be made, which we'll get into later on in the episode. And I think, Calvin Booth, he's part of the group that's willing to give Joker $260 million. So it means that he's willing to keep this core together because it terrifies me if they go outside of the organization, they get some guy that's like, okay, well, we got a couple of walking Band-Aids. Let's break this up and bring in some new guys. And then all of a sudden you got a whole new dynamic on a team that's already gelled so well together.
What it does keeping Calvin Booth is familiarity.
Yes.
You're familiar with the team. There's not like he's going to blow up the roster, which, doesn't need to be done at all. You just have at least more trust in, like you were saying, going in a different direction, finding someone else who does not have no familiarity. Familiarity.
Words are hard.
Yeah, words are very hard over here. Familiarity, like someone who would not know any of these players the way Calvin Booth does. He's familiar with them, and I have faith in him, and hopefully we can get to that Western Conference Finals or a Finals even in the next year or two.
Yes, I completely agree. I like the continuity. I think they should stay in-house. So I think we both agree on that. Calvin Booth fills the hole. He might not fill it completely, but I think he'll fill it well enough and keep things going in the right direction instead of bringing in somebody new that thinks that their ideas are better than Connelly's and completely blowing the thing up. But so speaking of things that Booth has helped, like we just stated, Joker gets paid, signs a $260 million supermax deal after back-to-back MVPs, completely deserved. But how does that shape the roster going forward?
I mean, you got your best player locked in.
Yep.
You got your best player locked in historically, not just franchise, but he's doing things that people have never seen before in the NBA. And all this hate that he got, that he shouldn't have been the MVP. What do you do? Are you kidding me? If Joel Embiid was in the position of Nikola Jokic, playing on a team without its two supermax players,
yep,
I don't even think the Nuggets are a bubble team. I think they barely make it in there.
I don't even know if they make it to the play-in.
Yeah, or a bubble team. Why did I say a play-in team?
It's close enough. It's all good, brother.
All this new NBA terminology.
I know, right?
But I don't think they're a play-in team. Joel Embiid is, I give him it. He's a phenomenal talent. He's top 5, maybe top 10 player, whatever you want, however you rank.
Right.
But he's just not. He would not do what Nikola Jokic. Night in and night out, everyone knows Nikola Jokic is going to get the ball. He's going to be the focal point of the offense, and he was still doing Nikola Jokic things every night. He knew he was going to get double teamed. He knew he was going to get triple teamed, and he was going out there putting 30, 15, and 10 on you consistently.
Exactly.
Consistently. So there should be no argument that he's not that he should not be the MVP this year. And I think what makes people mad about it is he's not a look at me kind of guy.
Yes.
He's not one of these guys on social media. He's a humble guy, and they don't like that now. They want you to be out there. They want you to be, he's to himself. He rides his horses, and he stays out your way. But he's a rare breed. You're not going to have a lot of people like that. And so Nikola Jokic deserves every dollar he's getting in that bank account.
Every single one.
Where he put the Nuggets. Yeah, they lost in 5, but they were competitive in besides one game against those Warriors. But you're not going to tell me that you're going to be the Warriors team. Look at what they've done to the Memphis Grizzlies.
Right.
Look what they've done to the Dallas Mavericks. They've dismantled them. Yet the NBA playoffs this year have been atrocious with all these blowouts.
Right.
But you ended up getting the worst luck and having to play the Golden State Warriors with a healthy Klay Thompson, a somewhat healthy Steph. Draymond came back. Jordan Poole came out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. And you just had to eat it. You didn't have nothing. It's like the Nuggets' second best player was like playing Call of Duty, and you had to go to the mystery box.
Right. Yes.
You had to. Who was it going to be? Was it going to be Bones? Was it going to be Barton? Was it going to be Boogie? You just didn't know who was going to be your second best player.
Yes.
But you knew who your first best player was going to be.
Every single night.
Give it to you. But when he went to the bench, there was no one there for him. Nope. So you can't blame Nikola for losing that in 5. But at the end of the day, he's still deserving for that MVP, and I don't want to hear that first round exit has anything against him.
Exactly. Yeah, especially when you look in the very next series, what happened to the Sixers?
Yeah. Oh.
They got dismantled.
Do people realize that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, everybody wants to talk about Jokic's exit. How about Embiid's exit? When he had an extra superstar, he had James Harden, he had a stacked roster, and he still couldn't do anything.
The ridiculous thing about Joel Embiid is what he averaged, I think, 30. He averaged 30 or close to it.
Yeah.
Well, he was leading the league or was number 2 in the league in free throws attempted a game. And then you saw in some of those games when the refs weren't giving him the calls. This ain't the regular season. They're going to swallow their whistle.
Yes.
When he wasn't getting the foul shots, that total went down.
Him and Harden, both the same way.
And it just – people don't realize how much Joel Embiid depends on the free throw line. Nikola Jokic can shoot 2 free throws a game, and he'll still end up with 30.
30, 40. I think – doesn't he have a 45-point game where he had no free throws?
We gotta look that up.
I swear there is. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I swear he has a 45-point game where he had 0 freaking free throws. Embiid, never.
No, he needs those.
Harden, never. It's why I've said it from the get-go. Whenever it comes to the playoffs, when it comes to Embiid and Harden, they play a soft game, a super soft game. If they don't get the whistles, they don't score. They have to get to the free throw line. That's the biggest difference between Embiid and Joker, is the fact that Joker does not need the free throw line to stack up the points. He'll throw a triple-double on you and not go to the free throw line once. The dude's insane. His touch, his shooting stroke, his passing game, his playmaking ability, literally everything you want a little man to do on the court, this man does at 7 foot. And it's insane.
What frustrates me is people don't realize his great defensive ability and the way he, intercepts passing lanes. For a big lumber guy, he can still steal some balls, man. And he's 7 foot, so he gets his blocks in. I think that was the block a game.
Yeah, it was like 0.9, but close enough.
He's not the defender that Joel Embiid is. We all know Nikola lacks athleticism.
Exactly, that's the difference.
But he's still, for him to at least average a steal and a block a game, you would not expect that from a guy who's built like Nikola.
No.
You don't expect him to run the offense the way he does. He's an anomaly.
Yep.
And for people to disrespect someone who should get unlimited respect is crazy to me.
It's absolutely insane. It's like, and I swear that the only hate comes from Philly because they hate to admit that they have the second best big man in the game. Jokic, by far, regardless, I don't care who you're talking about, what team, what system, it does not matter. Nikola Jokic is the best big man in the game and a top 5 player overall, period, regardless of position. Like, I would put him at the minimum 2, but I have him at 1 as the best player in the NBA. It might be a little biased, but I can prove it's right too.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. You put the right key pieces around him. Jamal come back, MPJ come back. The Aaron Gordon thing, I don't know what the hell that is. When we traded for him,
I love AG.
I love him, but I don't love it when he has to be the second option.
Yes.
Because when he was traded, when we brought him over with a healthy squad.
Supposed to be the fourth option.
Yeah, he was supposed to be a complementary piece. When Jamal opens up the game, MPJ starts opening up a little bit, and then he's a rim runner. So it complements Nikola Jokic's game to the max.
Yes.
But when you have him standing out the 3-point line and he's trying to develop a 3-point shot, which he's never been a 3-point shooter, it kind of
now he did have career highs in 3 points made, 3-point percentage, and shooting from the floor. So he did improve, but you are right. He should never be the number 2 option.
No, he should
not. At the best, number 3, preferably your number 4 option. Like you said, a rim runner, somebody that plays above the rim, that's able to just create confusion and chaos on both the offensive and defensive end. Like, that's what I love from AG. I love his complementary game, but he should never be a team superstar.
And I mean, that just tells you how bad the Orlando Magic were, because that was like their best player.
Yes, by far.
That was their best player, Vucevic and him. And those guys are, I think, third options now on the team.
Yes.
Vucevic is in Chicago, and the number 1s and 2s is DeMar and LaVine. So it just shows how bad the Orlando Magic were.
Right. All right. So speaking of just keeping him coming, awards keep on coming in. Jokic is named to the All-NBA first team. Do you agree with the first team squad?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Hey, MVP, were you going to put the MVP on the second team All-NBA? That would make no sense. It make no sense. Philadelphia already pulled the corniest move of the century by naming Joel Embiid their MVP, most valuable Philadelphia.
Oh, God, yes.
Oh, my God. I
lamest ever.
I can say so many things that I'm not going to because I will get demonetized. But Joel Embiid,
right.
You're the second All-NBA. You didn't get the MVP award. I don't care how people are going to want to baby you, but you need to just chill out, man. Nikola is number 1 All-NBA, first team. Now, who were the other ones? It was JT, Jason Tatum, Devin Booker,
Giannis Antetokounmpo,
and who was the
Luka Doncic.
Luka. Really?
Yeah, it's Luka, Devin, Nikola, Jason, and Giannis. Second team is DeMar DeRozan, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, Ja Morant, Stephen Curry. That one was a bit of a surprise to me for the second team for how much time he missed. And then the third team was Pascal Siakam, LeBron James, Karl Anthony Towns, Chris Paul, and Trae Young.
Yeah, that one kind of blew my mind, seeing LeBron on an All-NBA third team. I know he did not have a good year. The Lakers flustered. They had a terrible regular season. It makes sense. But for as dominant and as great as LeBron James has been, to see him on an All-NBA third team.
Right. And was behind, Jason Tatum, Giannis, DeMar, and Kevin. I honestly would have put LeBron above probably Kevin Durant at the least.
The Nets were really bad when KD left.
Yes.
When I know LeBron was hurt for a little bit, but when he was on the floor and when he was off, the Lakers were just bad regardless. They were, no matter
bunch of old fogies.
They were terrible, man. They should have been playing in a nursing home. That team was washed up past their age. And you know what? I know in Denver, the Laker hater, but I wanted to see the Lakers do a little bit of something. I saw Melo was over there, so I wanted them to at least make a run for the title. Everyone thought it was going to be the Nets and the Lakers in the final.
Oh, God.
And one team didn't even make the playoffs. The other one got swept in the first round. So
yes.
That just tells you how much we all know about sports, man.
Yeah, well, I will tell you, I never believed in the Nets. And I didn't think the Lakers would be this bad, but I thought they would be a play-in team at most. Yeah, they were terrible. A bunch of geriatrics out there with broken hips.
Bro, what the hell happened to Russell Westbrook?
Right.
Man, the Monstars got him overnight.
Right. Poor AD. I think freaking the movie just completely jacked with AD. He's like, dude, what did y'all do to me?
And he's probably regretting it now. I've heard a lot of talks of Anthony Davis wanting to be out. I know LeBron's frustrated. I know Anthony Davis is frustrated. Russell Westbrook requested a trade, I believe, a couple of days ago. But they just signed a new coach in Darvin Ham. So is that going to be the difference maker?
Was it really the coach though? I didn't think it was the schemes or anything on the court. It was just the age.
They had like a 3-minute montage video of Russell Westbrook jacking up shots that hit the backboard.
Yes.
3-minute montage.
3-minute montage.
And you probably do that. You're a professional basketball. You're paid to shoot the ball. I know he's not the best shooter, but you're paid to at least, score
sink a handful.
Not the,
how do you, in one season, you create a 3-minute montage of bricks?
Oh
that takes some doing.
Bro, it was ridiculous. I'm very embarrassed for that squad because everyone has had so many high hopes and high expectation for them, and they just failed it all.
A luxury tax team that doesn't even make it to the playoffs. That shows you money don't mean everything.
No.
So we went over who was there. We agree with who was there. Was there any snubs?
I don't know if I agree with everyone there. Well, the first name that goes to my mind, where the hell is Jimmy Butler? 47 points last night. He's been doing a lot. I think he's had a few
good one.
40-point games in this playoffs. If they're not 40 points and they're a good 30s. Now, I know his team has been blown out a few times, but who hasn't in this playoffs? Who has not been blown out?
Jimmy's a dog, though.
Jimmy is a dog, man. And the thing, though, I don't like about the Miami Heat, though, is they have a little bit of fake tough guy mentality. They did that stuff with Nikola back in December, and we'll be waiting for you. You ain't waiting for no one, man.
You ain't waiting for nobody. Those Morris brothers as soft as toilet tissue.
Get out of here with that, man. Just stop it.
Me and my brother-in-law went back and forth on that joke. I was talking about your soft little Morris brothers. Man, I need y'all to go and look at what these Serbians have been through before y'all be throwing out y'all fake toughness.
Don't. And these guys were in a civil war.
That's what I'm saying.
Like these guys, they don't got no time for your bull crap.
He's got a brother that's an MMA fighter. That's like almost 7 foot. Dude, he can kick you from 5 feet away.
They don't
none at all.
Stop it. And Miami, hey, you're in the finals. Or you're damn near close to being in the finals.
Yes.
Game 7 tomorrow. Worry about that and not trying to be the toughest guy you can because it's not working.
Exactly. Y'all ain't gangster. Nobody in the NBA is gangster. Period. I don't care how much y'all want to claim about where you come from. I promise you, where you came from, they protected you because they wanted to see you in the NBA. Yeah. You wasn't out there thugging, homie. No. You was protected by the thugs.
Well, maybe run our test.
Maybe he got a little bit of thug in him, but that's like the smartest kid with Down syndrome.
Oh my gosh. You know what? It's not hockey, man. You want to see some tough dudes? Go to the NHL. Those are some real tough guys. They might talk a little funny,
right?
But those are some real tough guys. I'm so sick of these NBA players acting so badass.
All of them. Man, yes.
Maybe in the 80s, 90s,
right?
Yeah, but with all these, like with the Devin Booker thing this year, where he was getting mad at the mascot when the whole arena no one was there because of the pandemic. I think they had to do a mandate real quick for Toronto for like a month or two.
Yeah.
And the only lone fan was the mascot.
Scott, yeah.
And he was so hurt that he was just waving him down. And Booker's over to the referee like, hey, get this guy out of here.
Right.
You got to, oh my God.
Sit down.
Gotta get out of here with that.
Yes.
Crybaby Kardashian stuff.
Yes. Man. I 100% agree. So you say Jimmy was a snub. Who do you replace on the list? And is he first, second, or third team to you?
I would say maybe third.
Okay.
Because, he did have, I would say, a bad regular season, but it was nothing spectacular.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Or separating
And I think that's kind of what cost him.
So it didn't separate him from anyone, but I think he is deserving of a third All-NBA. Now, who made the third?
Pascal Siakam, LeBron James, Karl Anthony Towns, Chris Paul, and Trae Young.
See, that's ridiculous. Why Chris Paul and Trae Young? So who's the shooting guard? Who's the point guard?
I know, right?
Are you calling Trae Young a shooting guard?
Yeah, I think they get kind of fluid.
All right.
It's just forward. Yeah, it's just forward, center, guard. So
Yeah, I'm taking out Trey for Jimmy.
Okay.
What the hell defense does Trey play?
Facts.
Come on, if he's not shooting out there, scoring the ball, he's a liability.
Yep.
Now I do like me some Trey Young, but
yeah, I love to watch
He can't
Trey.
be your best player. I'm
No.
sorry, guy's as tall as me. 6 foot, that might be good height for an average man.
Right.
But in the NBA terms, you're short, dude.
Yeah,
You're short.
definitely. Yeah, Jimmy is definitely a much better two-way player. I can't argue with that. I would definitely like to see Jimmy have gotten that over Trey.
I don't like seeing Karl Anthony Towns there. He called him. He made a comment where he called himself the greatest big man or greatest shooting big man of all time. Does he forget that there was a Dirk Nowitzki
right
who started all of this stuff with big guys shooting, and he comes out and says that he might be the greatest fake tough guy of all time.
That.
And you want to act so tough and bad. Where the hell have you been all this time? You've been in the league for 8 years. You make what, 1 or 2 playoff appearances? If you're so great, why the hell are you in the playoffs 1 year and the next 5 years you're out? I don't really like that Karl Anthony Towns pick. Maybe he had a good year. I don't care. I don't like him. I would replace him with either Bam Adebayo or, I hate to say it, another fake tough guy, Rudy Gobert.
Definitely a fake tough guy, but his defense is legit.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, outside of when he plays Jokic, for some reason, when he plays Jokic, he forgets how to play defense, and Jokic just goes ham on his ass.
You do.
But
You do.
yeah, no.
I would take Adebayo, though, another Miami guy.
I love Bam.
Bam Adebayo is nice. He has a better offensive game than Rudy Gobert.
Yep.
I don't know if he plays as good defense, but
he's the defensive player of the year, so
damn near close, man. I think Bam should be there other than Karl Anthony Towns. Now, you know my feelings towards Minnesota. I don't like anything Minnesota Timberwolves. Anything Minnesota Timberwolves, Portland Trailblazers, Utah Jazz, I'm completely anti.
I'm out.
Oklahoma City Thunder, I don't really care because I kind of feel bad for you.
A crappy state and even crappier team. Yeah, I agree.
You should still be in Seattle. So, all right, I'll leave OKC alone,
Right.
But everyone else in the Northwest Division, screw you. That's all I know.
All right. I like that. So, speaking of possibilities, the Nuggets are in an unknown territory. For the first time in their history, they are a luxury tax team. They've got 3 guys on max or supermax deals. So, with that being said, it means that they don't technically have cap space, but we also have one of the richest owners in the league. So, it means he can afford to pay these luxury taxes. So, do you see any activity in free agency for the Nuggets coming up?
I would like to. I really would. And either if it's free agents or trades this offseason, you got to upgrade that backcourt. And I don't know if Jamal's going to start the season. I hope he is, because he's going to have a good timetable to get fully healthy and more comfortable to play, a 48-minute game, a competitive 48-minute game running back and forth. We need some defense, man. We need some defense in the backcourt. You saw how Golden State killed us. We don't have any good defenders.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Definitely need some wing defenders.
Aaron Gordon, I give it to him. He is an above-average perimeter defender.
Yes.
But
the only one.
The only one. Who else is there?
We got to get him some help.
We don't really have any rim protection. I think you need to bring DeMarcus Cousins back. It helps that DeMarcus Cousins has a good relationship with Mike Malone. He said it. Mike Malone is probably his favorite coach he's ever played. Back in Sacramento, when the Kings fired Mike Malone, DeMarcus Cousins was really hurt about that firing, because he said that Mike Malone was one of the best coaches, personal-wise, someone who cared about him as a human being, not just as a basketball player. And that's why we should be grateful for the coach that we have. So I think you bring back Boogie. It might be a little more expensive than you kind of thought it was going into free agency after that Game 5 play.
Yeah.
Because he had a dominant game.
He went off.
And I was very disappointed that we ended up losing that.
Yes.
DeMarcus Cousins would have been the big headline the next morning if we won.
Yes, 1,000%.
I think you sign Boogie, though, and then you go and you need to find one of these guards, man. I saw Gary Harris was back on the market. I don't know how you feel about bringing him back. I know Gary Harris.
I like his defense.
Yeah, I love it too. I know he shot 38% from 3 this last year. He's on a bad team, so I don't see him going back to Orlando.
Right.
I don't really in Orlando. I don't think they really want to keep him because the Magic, with so many young guys on their team, you can tell they're going in that direction of just rebuilding and seeing who is going to develop the best and who they're going to want to keep. I mean, you look at the Magic; they got Bol, Mohamed Bamba, Jonathan Isaac, R.J. Hampton, Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner. So many young guys. Orlando and OKC are like so damn young, bro. And Memphis. That's why it shocks me that the Grizzlies went as good as they did and went as far as they did because they're so damn young.
Yep.
I think the Miami Hurricanes, I saw this stat, the Miami Hurricanes had an average age older than the Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah, man. The Memphis Grizzlies are so damn young.
That is insane. I didn't know that.
I think the Orlando Magic or maybe might be on the same level, but those are the top 3 young teams. And I don't think Gary Harris wants to go back to a team that is so young and has really no idea or direction where they want to go right now.
And he's tasted success.
Yeah, he's tasted success. And I think he does want to, I want to say come back to Denver, but come back to a contending team, at least, where he can see the playoffs. He's been in the league, 7 years, 8 seasons? And Gary Harris, I know the injuries kind of took away a little bit of his ability, some of his natural talent, but he's still a guy who can come off the bench, give you 2 to 3 3-pointers a night and give you some good defense. I mean, when he was here and we played the Warriors, they put him on Kevin Durant, a guy who was 6 inches taller than him.
Right.
So I would go not necessarily Gary Harris, but a Gary Harris type player, 3-and-D guy who is going to play defense in that backcourt because Monte's not going to play. Bones, I like Bones' defense. He's long, but he's still young.
Yeah.
We need someone who can at least be a leader and a veteran to Bones.
Yes.
Because I don't think Will Barton was all that great for that role.
No, Will is not a mentor. He's just a guy that's going to go out there and chuck it up no matter how many times he misses.
Don't start with him.
So, speaking of that, what about like a Covington?
Robert Covington?
Yes.
Rocco?
Yeah, Rocco.
I like Rocco. He is a stretch 4. I don't know. What would you call him? I don't know how tall he is.
He's kind of a tweener.
Yeah, he is because he has the height of a wing, but every nowadays with the small ball,
yes,
he can play. He can play the 5. I think if you're gonna go play that small ball Golden State style lineup, I do like Rocco. He has great defense, man. He's a defensive player. Now he's the type of guy where he can be on the floor shooting 0 for 10. Not knocking down the shot, but you're going to keep him out there because you know what he's going to bring to you on the defensive end.
Yes.
And I think the Nuggets need that. They really do, man. The defense was just so bad this year at times. I don't know how many 20-point leads they blew just because of bad defense.
Yes.
And it was so aggravating, so damn aggravating.
Yeah, I lost track, honestly. It was annoying. I can't tell you how many times I'd be sitting there like, oh, it's the third quarter. We're up by 20. Let me go, do this or that. I'll come back, see what the score is. And 10 minutes later, and they're losing. And it's like, how the hell did this just happen? But yes, it's exactly what you said. It's about that defense. You got to be with this team, the way that it's set up, you got to be able to play both ends of the court, especially if Jokic isn't on the floor.
Yes.
That's when it really showed up.
Because when Jokic hits the bench, that means you have no one out there. It's like, all right, who's going to be the hot potato? Who's going to catch fire? Jamal's hurt, MPJ's hurt. Jokic is on the bench. Who's it going to be? You need to ignite some kind of fire. So you need to have good defense because if your best player on the offensive side is not going to be out there, at least play some D, so we could prevent the other team from scoring. So when our guy comes back in, we can go put on the points and it's not a complete crap show and we're having to play catch up.
Gotcha. So those are our most likely targets. Who's your dream target? If there's just some way that the Cronkies could make it work, no matter what it was, who is your dream free agent that you would like to see come to Denver?
Who would we go with? I don't want to say James Harden. We don't have the money for that, obviously.
Yeah,
but
I don't want that softness in the playoffs.
That too. But the guy he's James Harden. I know we don't like him how he is, but he has a unique style to play. Now, you saying dream, dreams are not real, so I'm going to say something that is completely not real. I think if James Harden came here, the team would probably fall apart because you saw what he did to Brooklyn.
He's a cancer.
Yeah,
he is so toxic.
I take that back. That is not my dream target. All right, who else is there? We can go
I mean, some possibilities: John Wall, Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine, Ricky Rubio.
I like that Beal one. I like that
Bradley Beal,
but you got to pay him a lot. So how long are you going to have him for? You know, I think you're going to be more committed to Jamal than Beal. But if Jamal comes back, let's say that Jamal comes back and he's not the same Jamal Murray, are you going to move on from Jamal and keep Beal? Now, like you said, this is a dream target. This is not likely to happen. But if you got Bradley Beal and Jamal Murray on the same team,
on the same court at the same time, I mean, you put Beal at the point, you make Jamal your shooting guard. Mm-hmm. Then you have freaking Gordon, Jokic, and then I don't care who else you throw out there. That team's going to be ridiculous.
I'd probably put Jamal at the point because he has that two-man game with
Nikola. Okay, yeah, I got you.
At the point. And you've seen before the injury, Jamal was working more on facilitating the offense as well. Beal is just a pure shooter, and he is water. I don't know if you've seen, and I feel bad for the guy because his team
stroke is sweet.
His team sucks so bad. He had like a 55-point game and still lost.
Lost, yes.
I think he's had multiple 50-plus games and they still lost. So I know Bradley Beal wants to move on from Washington deep down.
He's got to.
I know they want to keep him, but if he wants to contend and be on a team that's going to consistently contend, you got to get away from Washington. That would probably be the biggest strength. I said James Harden. I don't know what I was thinking. When it came to realization.
Yeah, right. Hey, you talked yourself out of it. It's okay.
The guy is a cancer, so no, let's take that. We're going to act like we didn't say that.
I like Bradley because I think, just the three-man game between Jokic, Murray, and Beal would be insane. Then you add Gordon playing above the rim on top of that, where any three of those guys could get it to him. Yeah. No, that's insane. That's absolutely insane.
But like we said, it's not likely to happen. But
even though, I would love to see what Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon on the same court would be like.
That would be ridiculous.
That's some serious hops.
Man, well, what would those locker room conversations be like, man? Because you remember they played it, or they had that slam dunk
contest where LaVine got robbed from LaVine.
And that would be an insane team. But I've been hearing reports that the Lakers are going to try to pursue Zach LaVine, and Zach LaVine is
makes sense.
Mad at the Chicago Bulls right now, and it kind of makes sense
because they haven't given him an extension yet.
Yeah, and they don't like how they handled that whole contract thing with him. I think management changed, so management who gave him that contract is completely different now, and they don't really have the same aspirations as the original GM did when they gave him that. So LaVine would be a good pursuit. Who else did they have?
Some other options.
I'm sorry, I had the same thing up. I don't know.
Ricky Rubio. Let's see. This is by AAV from 21-22. There's John Wall, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, Kyrie Irving, Gary Harris, Zach LaVine, Ricky Rubio, Andre Iguodala, Thaddeus Young, and Joe Ingles are the top 10.
Now, that sounds weird, but I do like that Joe Ingles pick.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
A very realistic, because that's a guy he's a good facilitator, handles the ball, come off the bench. You need a ball handler,
right?
Guy with
good defense,
good basketball IQ.
Yes.
I don't like the Utah Jazz, but when Joe Ingles was there, I respected what he did. Yeah, he was a pest, and I respected what he did. I'm glad he's gone from Utah now. Yes. I don't have to hate him. I don't have to have.
Yeah, he was in Portland last year.
Oh. I don't think he played. I think he hurt himself.
Yeah, he didn't play much, but he was in Portland.
He's still in Portland, so I still have a little bit of mandatory hate, I guess.
Right, yeah. But he's a UFA, so.
Yeah, you know what? I would take Joe Ingles. I think that's an affordable guy, too, because his value
he just made $13 million last year. He was hurt, so his value is going to be below that.
It's going to drop.
You could probably get him for, a mid-level exception?
And probably for a year.
I
would throw him a 1 year. Not a veteran minimum.
Right.
At least a 1 year deal just to see if it's even worth it.
Right.
See what happens.
See what he's got. Yeah.
That's not even a dream pick.
No, that's a realistic. That's realistic right there.
That's reality.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think Joe Ingles definitely goes in the realistic. I like your dream of Bradley Beal. I love my dream of Zach LaVine. Now, if you could imagine putting both of them on this team, game over, NBA championships. Right. It's done. But we're done. We're done dreaming. We are done dreaming. Let's go back and let's talk about some viable trades that the Nuggets might be able to pull off because, like we said, they are a luxury team. So their most likely avenue of improvement is going to be trades and the draft. So who do you see as the most likely target for this team and beneficial?
I know who we need to trade, not to trade for. Will Barton. Is Will a free agent coming up? I believe. Because if he's not,
I think he's got 1 year left on his deal.
Oh, his ass need to be on the trade block right away.
Yes. And I got one for you.
Let me hear it.
Okay. Straight across, Will Barton, Bogdanovich. From Atlanta.
From Atlanta.
Boggy.
Yeah, I like that. That's not bad. Bogdanovich. Something about those European guys where they're humble and they're not gonna pull crap like what Will Barton does.
Right.
Jack up a 3-pointer and be completely off with so much time left in the shot clock.
Yes.
The thing about Will is it's bittersweet because when the Nuggets were so terrible, they were a terrible team. He gave us a reason to watch.
Exactly.
He was fun to watch. Will the Thrill. He got that nickname. But then when the Nuggets, Nikola Jokic started coming up, became the best player. Jamal Murray started to improve and develop his game, and he became the second option. Will was kind of the odd man out because he did get better, but he wanted to be that guy who was all right. I want the fans to know I'm one of the top options. But when you're on a contending team, a playoff team, you're not going to be that guy, Will Barton. You're just not. You don't have that it factor.
No,
you don't. And
he's way too inconsistent. Yeah, he can throw 30 down a night, but it might be another month before he throws another 30.
Yeah, well, he'll throw 30 down, then he'll shoot 2 for 14.
Exactly.
5 points. That's not what we need from him. And I hate to say, I loved Will when he first came here from Portland. He was an energy boost. We were a terrible team. He gave us a reason to watch the Nuggets.
I agree.
But now he's one of the reasons why you pull your hair out when the Nuggets lose and he's in the game. Sometimes when it's down the stretch with a couple minutes left in the game and Will Barton's in the game, you're wondering why the hell is he even out there?
Yes.
Put someone else.
Please, somebody, anybody.
He has to just go. And I do think management understands that too because it's been a couple years where Will has – last year when they got swept, why couldn't he show up at least?
Right.
Give us a reason. I know MPJ didn't show up. Why couldn't Will at least been a little bit of something, to give us to root for, But he just has to go. He's not on this terrible Nuggets team no more. He's on a contending team that needs you. And obviously you're not that guy.
Defense.
You're not that guy.
No, he's definitely a shoot first player. He is in no way, shape, or form a two-way player whatsoever.
No.
So I agree. You need more defense. And really, is there anybody on this roster that has value outside of him and Michael Porter Jr. that you're willing to trade?
If you give us a good offer, because I do think Bones has unbelievable potential. I wouldn't want to trade him, but if you give us a crazy deal, I don't know what deal you'd have to give.
I'd have to get a couple of first rounders for Bones.
That's crazy. That is crazy because Bones is
that potential
is through the roof.
Insane.
But no one's going to offer a couple first rounds just because.
No, he's too young.
He's too young, and like you said, it's potential. Potential is not guaranteed.
Right.
So. Bones is a guy, though, who I think does have a lot of value to him. That Game 4 performance that he had, it opened a lot
But that's why you got to keep him.
And that's why, we're going to keep him.
Yeah, especially since you're already in the luxury tax, them little ones.
Now, maybe Aaron Gordon, would be willing to trade.
I don't know if that contract's tradable, though, because he is on a max deal now.
I don't know who's willing to pay it, but if we could work that out, I would – moving on from him just because he does have good value and what he brings for us.
He has decent value.
Team. But at the same time, we haven't really seen Aaron Gordon in the position that we traded him for. We haven't seen him playing that fourth option that we wanted him to be in.
Yeah, unfortunately, what was it? Maybe a week after he was traded was when Jamal went down.
And we traded all our guards pretty much
for him. Yes, we had nobody to replace.
We traded RJ Hampton, who I liked RJ.
I loved Hampton.
I watched him.
That speed is special.
I watched some of his highlights when he was in Australia, and he's ridiculous. He's a run and gun kind of guy.
Yep.
And it would have been special to see him play with Jokic, but at the same time, he was very young.
Yeah.
And if you can get Aaron Gordon, a guy who's already established, why not ship him off?
I'm not mad about that trade at all.
I'm not mad at it.
Especially if they're able to sit here and get Gary Harris back this offseason.
How things broke down, though, with losing your best guard, how things went down, you kind of think, would the Nuggets have made that trade if Jamal had gotten hurt before the trade deadline?
But I think that's hindsight being 2020.
So, you know what? It is what it is. We got what we got. You know,
I would rather, this might be blasphemy to some people here in Nuggets Nation, but I would rather see MPJ move than Aaron Gordon.
Yeah. That
because I believe that Aaron Gordon has more value to this roster with his defense than MPJ does. Because that's been the biggest thing with MPJ. It's not about whether or not he can give you 30 a night. You know he can do that. It's whether or not he can stop the other guy from dropping 32.
And that's what I think the NBA needs to adopt from the NFL. I don't know if they can do it, but that franchise tag, man, because if you can franchise tag MPJ, you would have.
Right.
Because there was so much waiting. Like Tim Connelly, that was his last big move, giving MPJ that max deal, and he was hesitant. You could tell
it was last minute
how long he took. Like, is this guy worth it? And I'm not gonna say he's not worth it, but it's leaning towards more of him not being worth it, having to sit out an entire year because of the reason why teams skipped on him. He was supposed to be a first overall pick, and he got skipped because of his back problem. And he has to have another back surgery, so that does worry me. Now I don't know how many other teams are willing to even trade for him because they're going to be thinking the same thing.
But we also thought the same about James Harden coming out of Brooklyn or Ben Simmons leaving Philadelphia. There's bad trades that happen all the time for potential. So I do think that MPJ might have more value than what we give him credit for, just simply because of that ceiling that he has.
He was Kevin Durant 2.0.
Yes,
coming out of high school.
that's what he was supposed to be.
And he's lived up to it. There has been moments.
That shooting stroke is real.
There has been moments, man, where he's gone on ridiculous hot streaks. But kind of the Will Barton thing, too. There's been times where he disappears, man. He does his best Patrick Swayze impression.
Right.
And he goes ghost.
He
goes ghost. But and the thing with MPJ is he's very young. Will's been here for almost a decade, and it's almost the same thing with him. MPJ can improve, and he has improved. I don't want to give up on him yet. We'll see what this year brings us. But as you said, he is probably the most expendable player outside of Will Barton.
Yeah, because, I mean, we all know Jokic is not going anywhere. He's not on – and I think even Jamal Murray has to be in the untradeable category, not even having to do anything to do with his injuries. It's just how good he is on a consistent basis.
Well, we want to see if he's going to be that player when he comes back. I
have all the faith in the world that he will.
But say he doesn't.
But there's a chance, yes.
Say he doesn't. Are we trading Jamal? He comes back.
If he comes back and he's not who he was, is he tradable with that contract?
It would be unfair to him, though, to trade him his first year back and be like, oh, he wasn't, at least give him a year to bounce back. He has a serious injury.
Yes.
Was it the Achilles or ACL?
No, it was ACL and MCL.
See, so, damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, he ripped them both.
Yeah, so.
That's why it was so long to come back.
And you can't, and I got so frustrated with people getting so mad at him, like, oh, you're healthy.
Oh, yeah.
You don't
oh, my God.
Like, all right, you
questioning his toughness.
You obviously have never played competitive sports in your life.
Right.
Are you willing to go back for your team that needs you just for one playoff series, which you're probably not going to get that far?
Right.
Or are you going to wait it out and worry about your health? Health is wealth. And
exactly.
they did not understand that about Jamal. That is just ignorant fandom right there.
Yes.
And, the true Nugget fans understand why Jamal didn't come, and the ignorant ones are going to be the way they are and say the thing, question his toughness, like you said. Jamal, you need to worry about your health, and so we can get the best version of him start of next season.
Right. No, I 100% agree with that. So we've kind of skimmed over this roster, gave some generalizations. Let's dig a little deeper. Offseason checklist. What is the biggest hole on the roster that must be filled, whether it's trade, free agency, whatever?
I said it earlier in the show, man. Backcourt. You need some backcourt. You saw what Clay, Steph, Jordan Poole. I mean, and those guys are
going to do that death lineup, bro.
They're going to do it to you regardless.
Both ends.
But when you have no one out there to guard them, like you had Nikola Jokic on Steph Curry one-on-one.
Right.
We can say what we want about Joker. Maybe when it's all said and done, might be a top 20 player of all time. But I don't care. I do not want Steph Curry on Nikola Jokic on Steph Curry.
Ever.
Guard, and never. Because you're going to embarrass not just Nikola, but the franchise.
Exactly.
Oh, and there was no one who can guard any of these guys. Now it is the Golden State Warriors. They're just pure shooters. They sometimes shoot stuff where it's like, what the hell is that? You can't teach that.
Right.
They're blessed.
Yes.
Something from above. But you at least need to be competitive out there and run around and chase these guys. It's sad because Facu, he was a good high energy. I'm saying
he's a decent defender, but yeah,
he's too small.
Yeah,
it's like Trae Young out there.
Yeah, exactly. But just gets bullied.
Yeah, if you could get a guy though who's 6'5" and can have the energy like Facu,
right?
I mean,
even though he did truck Rudy, that was the funniest thing ever. I'm sorry, but that goes to your case of him being a fake tough guy. If you get trucked by a 5'8" dude, you can't be tough, bro.
You can't be tough. I don't care if it's a flop or any of that.
Nothing.
Flopping falls in the definition of fake toughness.
Exactly.
And I don't care, man. I don't care if you're trying to get a call. Don't be doing that stuff, especially if the guy's a whole foot shorter than you.
Damn near 2 feet.
Yeah, man. And yeah, don't get me started, Rudy.
Yeah, okay.
But if we can get a guy like Facu who's at least 6'3", 6'4", high energy, Robert Covington, I know he's not a backcourt guy, but Robert Covington can guard 1 through 5.
Yes.
I don't care. Especially
that's what I love about the versatility.
Especially in today's NBA with these small lineups. He can guard centers. He can guard point guards. You see Luka, he made All-NBA first team, and he's, 6'7"? He's playing the point guard.
Yes.
So I would have vice versa on the defensive end.
This is 2022 NBA, people. Positions don't matter.
They don't matter. And you need guys like that. So I like that you brought up that Robert Covington earlier because you need a guy like that who can defend multiple positions. And I think that's a guy who it seems Mando.
Yes.
It seems Mando that you need to go get a guy like that.
I think so too.
But at the same time, I do want a traditional guard type player.
Right.
Where he can be dominant on the defensive end and on the offensive end, at least be above average with the 3-point ball.
Yeah.
Because our 3-point ball was atrocious.
I think signing Gary Harris and Robert Covington would be the perfect offseason. Anything outside of that would be gravy.
Yeah, bring back Gary. I'd like that. Bring back Gary.
Yeah, have him as the backup point. Got, plays defense, locks down the other guys, backup point guards, all that good stuff. Yeah. I think that adding those two guys and just keeping this roster as it is would be enough.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you'd like to see him go out and do a little bit extra, maybe get a big name, maybe make a good trade, go get a Boggy or something like that. But I think just those two signings right there would completely change the roster.
Definitely. And defense has been the
bugaboo.
Hole. Yeah, it's been a hole in this team that needs to be filled
badly.
Health and defense and the 3-ball.
Yes.
But at the same time, let's see what this team's going to be like when we get our guys back.
Exactly.
Because when they're at full health, I mean, the Nuggets, they missed out on 10 wins this year because of the injuries.
At least.
Yeah, at least. And 10 wins, that puts us at 58. They finished 48 and 34. That puts you, at least one or two?
The 1 or 2 seed, yeah.
And you don't have to play Golden State in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to deal with all that. You get home court advantage. So it makes a difference when you missed out on these guys.
Yes.
Yeah, I still think we beat expectation with missing those guys. With Nikola doing what he does, winning 48 games, that's way above expectation for what I thought this team was going to do this year, especially after losing MPJ.
Oh, 100%. I agree with you on that. I can't disagree with anything that you just said. I really think that's really all that needs to be done. We don't need to make wholesale changes.
Yeah.
That's why I've said these two small moves, they seem small, but they will be huge going forward. Because like you said, I want to see what this core looks like back together, fully healthy. Definitely. You have your top 3 superstars. You allow Gordon to slide down to that 4th option. And again, I don't care who else you put out there, whether it's Bones or whatever, that 5th guy's not really going to matter if those top 3 guys and Gordon are doing their thing. Yeah. So essentially it's just play roulette, throw out whoever else is out there you want to, and it's going to be great. And it just takes 2 small signings. Both are free agents. Doesn't cost you anybody. You don't have to trade nobody. I think those 2 moves would be the absolute perfect offseason. Then do something with that first round pick that they still have. And I've heard words of who was it, Xavier Woods or Xavier Walker, that the big kid. What's his name? Just left my head.
I have not looked at any mock drafts, to be honest with you.
It's
not
just
been paying any attention to the draft. I'm still.
It's driving me nuts. I'll have to figure out the name and I'll talk about it later. But we're towards the end here anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Real quick before we go, again, this is. Do you want me to call you Amado or Santiago? I just want to be.
What do you guys want to call me?
Okay. Well, we'll leave it up to y'all. Y'all call him either Amado or Santiago. This is our co-host. He's going to be here with me in studio every Saturday, same time, 5 o'clock. So make sure y'all are tuning in. Check him out on Twitter at Amado, AMADO _isballing, ISBALLIN. Make sure you check him out. Follow him. He's got good tweets just like we do. Y'all see him on our thread as well. Also, giveaway. I forgot to tell y'all the giveaway yesterday. I guess while we have the time here, let's go ahead and let's just do it. Let's do the giveaway. I'm going to pull up my Twitter. We're going to do it live. We're going to F it and do it live. All right. Let me pull up Answers 42, my followers list, and random time. It looks like James at TillJam3, the husband and girl dad, you have won a $50 gift card to Fanatics. So I'm going to send you a DM so that way I can get all your information I need to get you the gift card. It'll be an e-gift card, so you get it immediately. It'll be a $50 gift card to Fanatics.com, and you can spend it on whatever you want on Fanatics.com. Get all the swag you want for $50. So there we go. There is the giveaway. I've been messing around with it. I wanted to get it done. James at TillJam3. You will have 24 hours to respond to my DM. If you don't, I will pick somebody else. So there it is. $50 off. Anything you want to say before we go?
When do I get a $50? Man, come on now.
When I start getting money and I can pay you to be here. All right. So share our stuff, and that way we can pay Amado, and he can get a $50 gift card.
I need that.
Yes, I feel you, brother. I feel you.
I
But
need a new hat, man. Come on.
Hey, I hear you. Always need new swag. Always need new swag. Also, if y'all are feeling it, y'all can go to theanswers42media.net. That's down in the description, a link. You ain't even got to type it in. Just click it and go. We got a swag shop there. Y'all can get all kinds of swag from us as well. But I think it's a good place to end it for the Answers 42 and Nug Life podcast. Don't question the blue. Uh-oh, I lost it. There we go.